Hi, this is Votan, and I'm back. Today I would like to talk a little bit about my progress. So, as many of you know, I've been doing a lot of right brain training, a lot of it having to do with quantum speed reading, and I'm also doing the Course in Miracles. This is the copy that I have at the moment. It was at the bargain bin at Barnes & Noble. I gave my other copy to my dad. And I just got a pack of alphabet cards. So these are animal cards mostly, for little kids, but it has the alphabet on the back. I'm just going to be using the picture cards for visualization. Now, yesterday I did the apple. Today I'm working on the alligator. So this is to improve my visualization skills, because I've always had such poor visualization skills that I haven't been able to hold any image in my mind even for like a second, historically. I mean, really, really poor visualization skills. And it affected a lot of aspects of my life, and I'm finding my memory is improving by having better visualization skills and other things that I'll talk about. So I like to keep things interesting. Some people would suggest just starting out with shapes like a box or a circle and just try to visualize that as clearly as you can, or a candle flame, or any number of things. But I thought these were colorful, and it gives me a variety to keep myself from getting bored. And I can see what I'm able to visualize better. Sort of my hope is by the end of the deck I'm able to visualize whatever it is fairly easily. And I know that you can't just do it once a day and do it and expect good results. So I'm planning to do it every several hours when I think of it. Sort of like A Course in Miracles. Today I'm on lesson 16, and it's I have no neutral thoughts. And I just leave it open, and whenever I pass it, I glance at it and I go through the lesson again. So that way it's always in my mind. I'm constantly thinking about it. The same way with the visualization. I leave the card out, so when I see it, and then I can visualize for a minute, a couple minutes, just to keep my my momentum going, my ability to a certain level, so that it doesn't start dropping. And I think I've been starting to become successful, not just with the pure visualization, but with the quantum speed reading, and and I found that my dreams seem to have changed. They used to be very mundane, very boring, ordinary, dreaming about school or dreaming about the mall, just relationships, professional relationships, friendships, just really kind of blasé subject matter. But now I'm finding, for one thing, the dreams are very colorful and very bright, and my dreams are very interesting textually. Sometimes they're almost shimmering, sometimes it's like rainbow colors, and it's just really, really cool. It's like I've never had dreams like this before. And I had my first flying dream. I've heard from so many people about flying dreams, and maybe if you do lucid dreaming, then you will take to the skies if you could. I've never had a full lucid dream, and I've tried jumping in dreams, but it wasn't very interesting, and I've never actually flew. So there's this one dream where I was coming up on the street, and there was an intersection, and I passed the intersection, was walking along the left side of the street, and there was like a mall structure over here, and then a brick building up here. And I was coming towards it, and suddenly I jumped. For some reason, I jumped, and sort of in slow motion, I went way up in the air, and was coming down towards the roof of the building, and I was still up in the air. And then I was thinking, oh my gosh, this is gonna hurt. How am I gonna get down? Why did I do this? And then suddenly, I guess I realized I was dreaming. And then suddenly, I didn't have any worries. All my fears were gone. And I'm like, oh, I'm dreaming. And I shot up into the air, and the exhilaration I felt was just so pleasant. It was just really nice. And then I took off down over the city, and I was going over, I don't know, bushes and canyons and rivers and just basically the landscape. And it was just really cool, and I woke up shortly after. But yeah, I've never had that experience before. And I'm attributing this to my right brain training and my increased visualization skills. And I had another cool dream a couple nights ago about this sort of rainbow boat. And there were rainbow colors all around, but the boat was made out of wood, and it was sort of like a Viking boat. And but I just saw the bottom, like the bow of it, and the prow, the front. And it was maneuvering into like docks, wooden docks, and moving out, kind of a small, narrow space, and there was like a stone gray wall behind it, but there was like rainbow colors everywhere. And there were words around the boat. Now, I can't really remember what the words said, but I remember just being awed because the words were so clear in like bold, white font. And I was just admiring how clear it was. I should make a note to myself to pay attention to the actual content rather than the form. I've always sort of been attracted to how something looks, and less so like when I listen to music. The lyrics don't really mean much. Do I like the melody? Do I like the way the music sounds, and that kind of thing? So I need to pay attention more to the content of it. But that was just a really cool dream. And then this morning, during my morning Vipassana meditation, I suddenly realized I was image streaming. Now, image streaming is a technique that I've been trying to do from the book called The Einstein Factor. And it's a technique where you just close your eyes and say out loud anything that comes to mind, anything that you see, hear, smell, taste, feel, etc. And you rapid fire just describe it, and the images should start to come from your right brain or the higher consciousness, or wherever the source of these images are coming from, to get insight into yourself or to answer questions, etc. Well, I've been doing this for almost 2 months now and haven't really been getting any images, just like specks and blotches and patterns and things like that. But and this stream of images that I was looking at, I wasn't sleeping, but somehow at first I didn't really notice it, and then I observed it. It was like I was in a grassy field. There was like a 2-story building over on one side, maybe some sparse buildings around, but I was sort of standing there and observing 3 kind of dark-haired, sort of shoulder length or jaw length, straight-haired men, not walking together, but sort of walking staggered. One was here, and then one was back here, and they were sort of walking sort of towards me, but then they sort of curved and walked towards the building. I think they were like martial artists or something like that, but I just thought it was funny that they were very alike, and I was just sort of in awe of what I was looking at because I wasn't asleep. It's like, where was this coming from? And I wasn't describing it out loud because this was during my meditation period. But I think I was very relaxed at that moment. So I think I was in a deeper state. And then I thought, well, maybe I should pay attention to what the similarities are. So I started paying attention to one of the guy's duffel bags. But then they went in the building, and then I went up close to the building to where there's some pillars around it. And I picked up like a power bill, electricity bill. And inside the envelope, there were some advertisements. I'm like, oh, there's no bill. But then I found the bill, I turned it over, and I looked at the price, and it said the price was like $0. I think. It's either 0 or 1, but I think it said 0. And I thought that was odd. And then I tried reading the print, and the print was sort of very faint and almost illegible, and I couldn't really read it. I thought that was strange. And then I had like very crisp dollar bills. I was sitting there trying to study it, you know, to try to make this even more real, as they suggest if you're having if you're exiting the body or if you're having a lucid dream. Palpating or really observing small details on objects can make the experience more real, but this wasn't really a dream, so it didn't really have the effect. So I thought that was very interesting, and then it sort of ended. Also, I've had some, normally I get the hypnagogic imagery, which is as soon as you start waking up or right before you fall asleep, you see little patterns in behind your closed eyes sort of moving. And if you observe them, they start spinning faster, at least for me. I usually don't notice them when I'm going to sleep because I probably fall asleep too quickly, but in the morning, as soon as I wake up, if I don't move, if I'm just still, and I allow myself to wake up slowly, usually I'll see those patterns. Well, I think it was yesterday or the day before, the hypnagogic pattern wasn't a pattern, it was like actual images. I was like in a scene. And it felt like it was a carryover from the dream, but I was awake, and this was the pattern because I could tell it wasn't a dream because the dream was quite vivid, although I wasn't really fully lucid or anything like that. But the dream was, like I said, my dreams have been getting very vivid and colorful and pleasant and more exciting. So as soon as I woke up, this imagery became dim. So I knew, but it was much brighter compared to my normal, almost like black, hardly visible hypnagogic imagery. It was much more noticeable, and I was moving through like a landscape, like green fields, and maybe waterways and that kind of thing. And I just tried observing it, and it didn't dissipate under my scrutiny. But it didn't amount to anything. One of the techniques for falling back into one of your dreams or exiting your body is to observe these images until the scenery becomes really real and you find yourself there. That didn't happen to me, hasn't happened to me ever. But I was just observing it to see what would happen, and it didn't dissipate at first. And it stayed a while, and then it dissipated. The only thing I can guess that where all of this stuff is coming from is my training. Of course, I'm also working on the Vimala alphabet from this book, Your Handwriting Can Change Your Life, by Vimala Rogers. I'm practicing writing certain letters of the alphabet each day, and that also should have an effect. So perhaps that has an effect as well. So I'm doing a lot of different things. So I'm very happy about that I'm seeing results. Hasn't been 3 months yet. It's been about 2 months for image streaming, but I don't think I'm really getting a lot of results because I haven't learned to drop myself into a deeper state yet. I can't really figure out when I'm there. Or I think I'm also, last night when I was doing my image stream, I kept yawning. And I am suspecting that yawning is done by the body when it tries to wake up. So I think I'm trying to get to that lower state, and then I yawn, and then I'm back up, and then I'm going down. So I have to figure out how either to suppress the yawns or to figure out a way to observe them, to let the sensation pass, like I can do with a sneeze. Like if a sneeze comes, I can feel the sensation percolating through my nose if I'm really on it. And I can just feel the sensation, and the sensation won't reach climax, and it'll just sort of dissipate, and then I won't sneeze. I won't have to. Maybe a yawn has the same effect. I haven't figured that one out yet. I think I just need to keep doing what I'm doing, figure out how to lower my brain state without coming out of it. If I had a brainwave monitor, that would make things much easier. Eventually I'll get one when I get some money. And I'm also on the lookout for other books that I can get other techniques from. There's a lot of information on the web, but the internet is sort of sparse, and you get a lot of hearsay and information that isn't always congruent or complete or exhaustive. And I really want to get like a list of exercises that I can supplement with, because I'm seeing results. Positive results motivate me to push myself further. If I was getting no results, I'd probably start slacking off and then end up not doing it anymore like I usually do with other stuff in the past. But this time I'm dedicated, and I think I'm seeing the results of that. There's this one other book that I'm checking out of the library. I haven't got it yet. It's called Unicorns Are Real, something like that. And that seems to have a lot of exercises, even though it was published in the 70s or 80s. The year doesn't really matter. It's the content that I care about. So yeah, so these are the things that I've seen improvements on. And if you have any questions, suggestions, or you'd like to add anything, I'm more than welcome to receive that feedback. I'm happy to answer it. So let me know, and we can have a dialogue going. All right. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.